that demonstrations and picketing on campus are legitimate means of expression. Specifically, demonstrating must not interfere with organized meetings or other assemblies in such a way as to invade the rights of others to assemble and the rights of speakers to free expression. Be aware that those who violate the policy will be escorted from the event.
My name is Lucy Atwood-Starr, and I am the chairwoman of the Young Americans for Freedom chapter at the University of Utah. Woo! Woo! We stand for traditional family values and conservatism. Also, thank you to the Young Americas Foundation for making this event possible and for helping our voices be heard on a campus where they are trying to silence our voices. Our flyers have been torn down within 30 minutes from putting them up. We have faced targeted harassment from Mecca, another student org, saying that they were going to release our names on their Instagram account, and a letter demanding that I and some on my executive board be reprimanded for our event. Instead of supporting us during those attacks, a university police lieutenant responded to an event we advertised on Instagram with a laughing emoji. We won't back down, and we won't be silenced. Our speaker tonight is Chloe Cole. She is a poised and articulate 19-year-old advocate for stopping the transitioning of minors. She started her transition at the young age of 12, receiving puberty blockers and testosterone, and then a double mastectomy at 15. She then decided to detransition at 16. Chloe is driven to talk about the harms of gender-affirming care by testifying across the United States.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Chloe Cole, and I'm speaking on behalf of my experience as a former transgender teen. I began undergoing a gender transition from female to male when I was only 12 years old. I started puberty blockers and testosterone injections at 13 and a half, and I underwent a double mastectomy at the age of 15, just before I detransitioned at 16 years old. My experience going through transition and back has been an incredibly painful one, but it's also been a valuable learning experience for me. And I hope that after listening, when you all leave this room tonight, you'll be left with a sense of hope and responsibility. These so-called doctors abused not only me, but my parents as well. The doctors told them that they had two choices for me: transition or suicide. And I had shame around these feelings because I was so deep into my transition. How could I admit, especially after having lost this part of my identity as a woman, that it was all wrong? I started to ask myself questions like, do I want to be a mother? Do I want to have children of my own one day? How am I going to be able to do that when I've been on hormones for years? Will I even be able to conceive? Will I be able to give birth? I had this epiphany that by transitioning as a child, I was losing parts of myself as an adult, as a woman, before I could even call myself that. And I couldn't keep living like this. But in choosing to live and speak truthfully, I've gained so much more by having the courage to talk about my experience in spite of the vitriol and threats that I've received. I've made friends with whom I share my values with and who I look up to because they too are willing to stand their ground. Thousands have woken up and are fighting back for the sake of children, family, and the institutions of education and medicine. And just within the past year, nearly half of all US states have passed measures to save children from medical experimentation and to prevent history from repeating itself. But the other half of the United States still hasn't caught up yet. We still have a ways to go. We must keep fighting to rid the country of this practice of manipulating, of mutilating, and sterilizing children. If we care about our communities and the future of our world, we must take initiative now to begin speaking the truth in love. Thank you.